Hello everyone, welcome to class 7 of CS2. We'll discuss more about Markov chains. Today we'll talk about random walks. I've taken here states -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. In a stochastic process, the process can move from any state to any other state. There is no restriction at all. From 0 in this example, it goes to 2, then 2 to -2 here, -2 to 0, 0 to 0, same position, 0 to 2. And this is the timeline 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It can go from any state to any other state. There is no restriction at all. However, when you come across random walk, or maybe there are other processes, there are restrictions. Here you see my states are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. At the first time, that is 0, the process is at 3, then from 3 it moves to 5, from 5 it moves to 1, then 3, then 3, then 5. The only difference between the one I showed last time and this one is about the number of states. I've taken positive here, 0 to 7. There is a reason why I've written all positive. Now let's go here. This is a GIF. You can see how the process moves from time 1 to time 15. And here, this is a model. This is a stochastic model. And you see the rain in temperature in the month of August. First fortnight, if you start from first day, you see what is the rain on first day, then second day, then 15th day. 2 centimeter, 7 centimeter, 5, then 4, then 3, then 1, then 7, then 6, then 1, then 5 here, then 1, then 3, then 7, then 4, then 1. How can you model this? You have to take past data and you have to model it. This is a stochastic process, typical stochastic process. There is no restriction of the movements from any place to any other place. Now let's go here. This is a random walk. When we say random walk here, we talk about simple random walk. In a simple random walk, this is the best example. Random walk of a drunk man. A drunk man is there and he can put a step here and there. If you see here, these are the numbers -2, 1, 2, 1, 0, -1, -2. Here, this guy is at 0 times 0. The next time either he will go to -1 or 1. Unit steps, either one increment or one decrement. We have a lot of applications. We have application in CM2, we have application in data science, we have application in statistics, in all branch of human knowledge. Now coming to the simple definition, if you are at 0, either you go to 1 next time or you come to -1. Suppose you are a gambler, you are gambling, someone is tossing a coin. If head comes, you give 1, if tail comes, you get 1, that way. Either you will get 1 or you will lose 1. So here this guy is at 0. So next time you will move to 1, see 1 here, or -1. In my diagram, he moved to -1. And from 1 once again, he can go to either 2 or 0. Here it came back to 0. See, 1 increment, 1 decrement, again increment 1. Next time also this guy wins or goes like that because he is a drunk man. He has no idea, moving randomly. Then comes here 1 unit. Okay, 1 means 2 to 1. The difference is 1 here. Again here 0. Then from 0 to -1, -1 to -2. Then again increment. So either there will be 1 increment or 1 decrement. Even he can't stay. If you say no, he is staying in the same 0. No, in 2 steps. 0 to 1, 1 to 0. Not 0 to 0. 0 to 0 is not allowed. If you go to the stochastic process here, 3 to 3 is here. However, in random walks, either you can go from 3 to 4 or you will go from 3 to 2. There is no way you can stay in 3. This is not possible in random walk. Simple random walk we are discussing now. What is the probability that one will go from 0 to 1? This is not timeline, this is time. Okay, if you say I will write time also here, I will start from 0 or 1, 0, 1, 2, this way, 3 here, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, that way I can write time. So at 0 time, this guy is at 0. At time 1, it's 1. Time 2, it's 0. Then 3, time 3 at 1. Time 4 at 2, that way. You can check. This is a stochastic process. Random walk is also a stochastic process. You have discrete time here and discrete state. This is one kind of stochastic process. The increments are either 1 or minus 1, or you can say increment of 1 or decrement of 1. Now this is a typical random walk. From 100 you go to 101 or 99. From 101 you go to 102 or 100. From 102 you go to 103 or 101, that way. See, either one increment or one decrement each time. You can always remember, you can always think of a gambler who is playing. Okay, if someone is 100 now, next time you will have 101 or 99. If you can extend it infinitely, that is a normal random walk. If there are boundaries like fixed rate 104, suppose you are not allowed to pay once you have accumulated 104. Then what will happen? This will be the boundary. This is maximum point. So once you are here, you are not allowed to pay. You have to sit and see. Okay, from here no probability. You will go to that. That is called absorbing state. Even you come back to 97, you are not allowed to play. Otherwise it will continue infinitely. From time to time the expectation remains constant, but the variation changing. You see the range, the variance is changing. But we will not discuss those things here. It's a simple definition of random walk. Now if you consider any point here, t is any point. Suppose t is 3. So given that x3 is equal to a, in our example 102, x3 is 102, this is given. Now you are finding the probability that x4 is 103 or 101. These are the two possibilities. It could be 103 or 101. This is what we have written, a minus 1, a plus 1. x4 will be 101. These are the two possibilities given x3 is 102. Now when I have written this way, this is not called path of a stochastic process or path of a random walk. Path means what? Whatever will happen, that you have to show. 102 to either 103 or 101. Suppose I am here and I know that I have 102 and now I am about to play. I am a gambler. Someone is tossing a coin. I bet for head. I don't know whether my worth will be 103 or 101 next time. So now I am thinking the probability that I will have 103 is 50% here because he is tossing a coin. It's a fair coin. The probability that I will have 101 is 0.5. It's the same, 0.5, 0.5. These are the probabilities. And this is symmetric random walk, simple symmetric random walk. The probabilities might be different. Suppose one guy tosses instead of tossing a coin, he rolls a die. Okay. In that case, if 6 comes, I will win. In that case, my winning probability will be 1 upon 6. And my losing probability will be 5 upon 6. If he says, I'll give you 1 if you get a 6, otherwise you will lose it. So the probabilities could be anything. When we say symmetric, they must be equal, 0.5, 0.5, half and half. So now at 103, the probability that I will go to 100 from 102 to 103 is 50% here, or whatever p we say. P is the probability, 1 minus p is this probability. We have a mathematical definition, we'll do that. But remember, yeah, this is the mathematical definition. P, probability p is 0.5 in case of tossing a coin, 1 upon 6 in case of rolling a die, and 1 minus p is the other one. Given that 102, at 3, what will be at 4. It's not necessarily from 3 to 4, even you can apply that from 2 to 3, 1 to 2, 4 to 5, 5 to 6. That's why we have written t to t plus 1. Now in diagram A you see 0 to 1 there is a probability P, 1 to 2 probability P, probability of winning, suppose you are playing a game, okay, and then continue losing also. If -1 allowed, -2 allowed, then you go from 0 to -1, the probability is 1 minus P. This is simple random walk. In case of symmetric random walk, P will be half. When P is half, we say this is symmetric. That's all. This is called state diagram. Now this is a random walk. This is a random walk, and we have given the path. No two ways, one way we have given. Suppose you are at 100. Now you are at 100. What is the probability that you will be at 103 after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps? Suppose I am here now. What is the probability that, and my worth is, I have 100 rupees. What is the probability that I will have 103 after 5 time periods? Each time period is 1 minute, suppose, and someone is tossing a coin. I have to accumulate 103 after 5 tosses. So from here to here, if I win, I will go to 101. If I win here, I will go to 102. Suppose winning probability is P. If I lose once again, 1 minus P. In case of symmetric random walk, you can take P 0.5. Then I have to win to reach at 103. I want a increment of 3 out of 5 times. Out of 5 times, I have to win 4 times because I am losing once. So 4 increments here and 1 decrement. This decrement can happen anywhere. You lose first time, then win 4 times. That way it's possible. You win, then lose, then win, then win. All these probabilities we'll find. We'll see what is the way we can go from 100 to 103 in 5 moves. In certain cases, it will not be possible also. There is a derivation. This is quite important. We'll do that. But remember, the question here is, what is the probability that you will go from 100 to 103 in 5 moves? After 5 time periods, what is the probability that you will move from 100 to 103? Here you need to win 4 times, 4 wins, and you need to lose once. So this will be P power 4, then 1 minus P. Because and comes in between, you have to multiply. The probability is P4, 1 minus P. This is the probability that will go from 100 to 104 in 5 moves. Now in between all these I have not written. Here 5, the point is 5 and the point is 8 here. I have 3 time period, okay, 3 times 5 to 8. That means I have 100 now, and someone says I want you to have 105. I want you to have 105 in 3 games, okay. So there is 6 here, 7 here, 8 here. So here to here once, 6 to 7 once, 7 to 8 once. So if someone is sitting there and tossing a coin, if I win all the 3 times, from 100 I will go to 101, from 101 I will go to 102, from 102 I can go only up to 103. I can never go to 105 in case of a random walk. In random walk, my increment will be 1 each time. I can't get more than 1 each time. So I can never reach here. I can never reach 105 in 3 moves. This is impossible. So the probability that x8 is equal to 105, given that x5 is equal to 100 is equal to 0. There is no way. This is not possible at all. I can't get an increment of 5 in 3 moves. It's not possible. We'll explore all those options. Come to this 5 to 10, 5 moves, and I want to reach from 100 to 105 possible every time increment. So by chance if I win all the games, I'll go to 101, then 102, then 103, then 104, then 105. Okay, if you want you can write 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 with all P probability. Winning probability is P. So there is a probability, there is a chance, though this is very little, P5. Every time I need to win. What is the probability that I will win first time? P. What is the probability that I will win next time? P. It will continue. So it will be P power 5. Next, the number is 5 here and I have 12 here. 7 increments I want to get. And I have to go from 100 to 105. I want to gain 5 in 7. This is possible. Remember, all possible. If this is 7 and I get an increment 5, I want to get an increment of 5, that is possible. If this is odd, this should be odd. How this is possible? I have to win 6 times and lose once. Then what will happen? There will be net 5 gain, and I want from 100 to 105, that is 5. Okay, so I need 5 wins out of how many moves, out of how many games? 7. So out of 7 games I have to win 6 times and lose once. So the net 5 wins I will get 1 1 1 1 1 5 times. So from 100 I will get 5, I will reach to 105. Remember, I can lose one time, maybe first time or second time or last time, whenever. The probability for this is P power 6. The probability of this is 1 minus P power 6. The total probability is P power 6 1 minus P power 6. This is the probability. But remember, I can lose anywhere. It's not that I have to win all the 5, then I have to lose. Not this way. Sorry, not this one. 1 minus P. 7 moves, right? So this is one of the ways I am saying. Even if you go back here, when I said it's P5, every time I have to win, there is no combination. If you go back here, it's not possible. When I said this one, P4 1 minus P, I said the path probability, not the total probability, because the one time losing, that can happen anywhere. We have to use the binomial coefficient. So now here I have to lose once. Out of the options I have, 7 times I will play, I have to lose once. Okay, where I need to lose, that is what I need to decide. So 7 1 I have to write here. 7 1 will be 7 factorial divided by 1 factorial and 7 minus 1 factorial. Sorry, 7 minus 1 factorial, that is 6 factorial. So 7 extra will come. How that will come? We'll explore that. Now, is it possible 5 to 50, 45 games I have to play? And what is the increment I want to get? 5 only. Remember, this is odd, 5 is odd, so it's possible. I can do this way. 45 times I have to play. Out of 45 times I have to win 5. I have to lose. So suppose I win 40 times, then my gain will be quite high, right? I can write 25 20. So 25 times I will win and 20 times I will lose, and 5 increment I will get. So I will move from 100 to 105. This is possible. You can say P power 25, Q power 20, 1 minus P, Q is 1 minus P, and the binomial coefficient. Binomial coefficient we have to write, because you can lose any 20 times, not necessarily first 20 or last 20. So we can write this way. 20 or 25, whatever you want to write, doesn't matter, they're the same. 45 20, P 25, Q 20. This is the binomial probability. Here 5 to 11, 6 times 6 games. What is the increment here? 100 to 100 for 4. That is possible. If this is even, this should be even. They say parity. Parities are the same. Parity, when I say, if this is even, this should be even. If this is odd, this should be odd. Remember, this is odd, 45 is odd, 5 is odd. That is possible. If this is even, this should be even. If this is even, this is odd, that is not possible. You can never get, you can never go to 105 from 100 in 6 moves. You can try, it's not possible. Okay, 4 gains are possible. That means I have to win 5 times and lose 1 time. The net gain is 4. That is possible. 6 moves, 6 games you can say. That is possible. If this is even, this is even. If this is odd, this should be odd. Now 5 to 9, 4 increment. Here 4 increment possible. All you have to win. Now 5 to 10, 6 increment, 4 win possible. How about this? 45, 4. It's not possible. This is odd, this is even. It's not possible. You try yourself. Now this is what we saw already. Yeah, all the, see here, this is where we are losing. Okay, we are winning first 4 and losing the last one. But we are reaching at 103. How about this? We are reaching same 103. However, we are losing here. And they are winning, we are gaining 1 by 1. So that losing thing, that can be here, that can be here. So this is one path. This is one path. So this way we can reach at 103. This way also we can reach at 103. Both the probabilities are same because this is 1 minus P, others are P. If you write here 1 minus P, P. So P power 4, 1 minus P. This is the probability. Here also P power 4, 1 minus P. This is probability. We are multiplying all because these are AND cases. This and this should happen. So we are multiplying. But this is one path. This is also another path we can reach here. Suppose you are given 5 options to clear 4 papers. So you fail once, wherever you want, it doesn't matter. But you have to do all these things. So that's why you are multiplying. However, these are different paths. So you need to add this probability. You have to add this one. Similarly, other 3 will come. You have to add 5 times. So final probability will be 5. We'll not do that way. We'll use a binomial coefficient. But final answer should be 5P 4 1 minus P. This is actually 5 1 or 5 4, whatever you want to write. It doesn't matter, they will be the same, 1 minus P. This will be the total answer, and 5 you are getting here. That means you have 5 different paths, or that's why we are adding this path or that kind of a path I showed you. That way 5 times possible. This is what we will derive in today's class. This is another way, losing here. All the ways I must have showed. 3 ways I showed, never mind. Now suppose you are at T and you want to go to J from I in how many steps? N steps. N moves are allowed. N games you are supposed to play. And after N time periods, you have to reach to J from I. You are here, you want to reach here. Okay? In how many? N time periods. So this is N and this is J minus I. Remember, N plus J minus Y, sorry, N plus J minus Y, N plus J minus I should be even because the parities are same. If N is even, remember I discussed lot of examples. If N is even, J minus I should be even. J minus I is the increment. If I am at 100 and I need to reach 105, my increment is 5. So here my increment is J minus I. j minus I and n, their parities are same. If n is even, this one must be even. If n is odd, this must be odd. So you can say n plus j minus I is always even. Odd plus odd is even plus even is even. Another condition, j minus I should be less than or equal to n. J minus I is the increment, n is the number of steps. Can you imagine? From 100, I want you to get 105 in 3 moves. Not possible. You can never go to 105 from 100 in 3 moves, because the maximum increment for you will be 1. So j minus I, the increment should be less than or equal to number of time periods. It can never be greater than of number of games allowed to play. In that example, here I have taken number of up steps and number of down steps. Number of up steps I have taken u, and number of down steps I have taken d. So u minus d, that should be equal to my increment. U minus d will be my increment, that is j minus I. Remember, in the earlier example I have written 7 minus 1 is 6, something like that, and u plus d will be n. Suppose I have 5 up steps, 1 down steps, that means 7 times I am playing, 7 moves. So the number of moves will be equal to the number of time periods, up and down combined, and if you subtract, that should give my increment. If you have any doubt here, you can go back and you can verify the examples. If you add 1 and 2, then d and d will get cancelled, you will get 2u, then u. Remember the number of up steps here, that will be j minus I plus n divided by 2. J minus I plus n divided by 2. Similarly, the number of down steps, if you subtract, you will get cancelled and you will get 2d, n minus j minus I divided by 2. Now you can apply this formula and you verify all these things. Remember, I wrote here 5 up steps, 4 down steps. This is u, this is d. So up and down steps you can get using that formula. N, here n is 6, 5 to 11, 6. I is equal to 100, j is equal to 104. So j minus I, n plus j minus I is equal to 10. Okay, so n plus j minus I by 2, that is 5. Okay, that's what I got u. Similarly, n minus j minus I divided by 2, that will be d. So d will be 6 minus 4 divided by 2, that is 1. This is d and this is u. You can apply this formula. You need not remember this way all the time. So now we know the number of up steps and the number of down steps. And finally, we'll write everything here. Number of up steps n, number of down steps d, and time periods allowed, time from t to t plus n after n time periods. You want to go from I to j in n time periods. This is the symbol, but this is not possible. Sometimes, under what condition possible, we need to write the probability that you will go from I to j in n moves. This is what I have written here. In n moves, from 0 to n or 1 to n plus 1 or t to n plus n, in n moves, what is the probability that you will go from I to j? Conditions will mention. Under what condition? J minus I should be less than or equal to n. Okay, if I can, this was our condition. I will add n both the sides, or otherwise I can write j minus I. This was the condition, right? J minus I less than or equal to n. However, we can write this way also. j minus I plus n less than or equal to 2n. You can write this also. You add n both the sides, because this should be positive. In one line we can write, otherwise you have to write this one and this one separately. So in one line we can write this, and n plus j minus y is even. These are the two conditions. Under these two conditions, this one will be np, or n u is the number of up steps here. You can write d also, p power u 1 minus p power n minus c. This will be the probability. So if you are asked to find for this example, probability that I will move from I to j, we write this way, Pij here, I to j, okay, Pij, I is 100 and j is 104 in n steps, n is 6 here. This one, I you write 100, j you write 104. I have written here already. The probability will be, if you want to find the probability, that will be nu, n is 6, u is 5, 6, 5, p power 5, q power 1, and p is the up probability. If nothing is given, you can take p half, q half. This is symmetric random walk. If p is not given, you can take the probability. What is the probability that it will move to the next stage, you can say, or next thing. What is the probability that it will get an increment? The probability is p, half. 1 minus p or q is half. That way you can do. So given p and q, you can always find this. Given p, you know 1 minus p, and n will be given, I and j will be given. You put everything and you find the probability. If these are not satisfied, then you say it's impossible, 0 otherwise. This is the summary. Then we have one called reflecting boundary, then observing boundary, mixed boundary. Going to this one here, suppose you reach at 97, then what will happen? That is the question. If you reach at 97, then you can't go back, because when we say random walk, when we talk about the states, it's infinite, from infinity to minus infinity. Now we want to end the game here, and the maximum ceiling is given 104. You can't go beyond 104. Suppose you play here and you win once, you should go to 105, but you are not allowed to play in that example. So you have to stay here. If you reach at 97, you are observing, you are absorbed here, you are not allowed to play. Okay, that guy is advised not to play and not to lose less than 97. That might create a problem. So this is the range. Once you reach at 97, you have to stay here. So you are absorbed here. Once you get 104, next time instead of go to 105, it should be 104 only in case of observing one. So these are called boundary. Boundary means the end points. If you make a bound 97 to 104, suppose I say I will give you a class of 40 minutes. Once I will complete 40 minutes, I will end it here. I will not move further. That way, once you reach at 104, you have to stop it anyway. Stop it means, what is the probability that you will go to 105 from here? 0. What is the probability that you will go to 96 from here? 0. What is the probability that you will stay at 97? 100%. Okay, that is what we need to write. Here this is the example. Okay, now we have to write that in reflecting boundary, observing boundary. Here we'll make it mixed one. Mixed one means with some probability, we'll say. Now in case of reflecting boundary, probability that the next move will be 1, given that you are at 0. 0 is the last. I've taken a negative number there. This is the definition. It's 1. That means at time n, if you have 0, at time n plus 1, you will have always 1. If I'm a gambler, I'm gambling, okay, and I came back to 0, what will happen? I have nothing. I can't play here. Then how it's reflecting, how I can reflect back, how I can start playing once again? Maybe I have someone, big brother, sitting with me, says, never mind, continue playing. Whenever you go to 0, just tell me, I will give you 1. So immediately I will reflect back to 1 and I will start playing. If I win, again I will go 2, 3, 4, 5, like that way. If I lose here, if I come back to 1, my big brother is there and he will say, never mind, you come back to 1, I am there to supply 1. So always I will reflect to 1 whenever I will go to 0. There is 100% probability. That means I have a support, I have a backup. Somebody is giving me, reaching me to 1 whenever I go to the last stage 0. This is the boundary. At boundary he is there to help me. So that I will go to 1 and I can start play once again in that example. There could be other examples. I will reflect back to 1. Every time I will come back to 0 so that I can start playing once again and I will have unlimited potential. If there is a boundary here. If there is a boundary here, you can define that way. Observing means I have no big brother. Once I reach 0, I will stay here only. Somewhere I came back to 0. Then I will see and I watch. What is the probability that next time I will go to -1? No. What is the probability that I will go to 1? No. Because I am not allowed to play. I am 0. This is called observing boundary. Mixed boundary means I don't know. Maybe in the evening I will play. I don't know whether my big brother will come or not. So I will make one probability. With some probability it will be reflecting. With some probability it will be observing. So in terms of mathematical definition, reflecting means 100% it will reflect. Observing boundary means, see, both are 0. This is 100%. There is 100% probability that next time from 0 I will be at 0 only. Remember, in case of a random walk, either you should go to 0 to 1 or 0 to -1. But here 0 to 0, observing. And this probability will be applicable only in the boundary, last point, not other points. I will show you the diagram. Mixed boundary means you have to make with some probability. Suppose I write x plus 1 is equal to 0 given x and 0. For that I will say some probability P, A, B, C, whatever I will write. Suppose A. Then if I say xn plus 1 is equal to 1 given xn 0, 1 minus A, that way. So suppose A is 0. A is 0 means I will get 0, 1. If A is 0, if A is 1 means this will be 0, this will be 1. Okay. So if I want to write these two also, this two I can write. In this case A 0. If you put A1 here, this case A1, you put A1 here, 0 to 0 is 1, 0 to 1 is 0, will not write. So in case of A1 you will get this. Okay, here it's reflecting. Suppose this is the boundary, my big brother will give me 1 so that I can play once again. Here I had 98, I lose 1, I came back to 97. This is my wealth and I'm not supposed to play after 97. That is my reserve amount, but I will always reflect back to 98. Okay. So there is no, I can't go down this. This is boundary. Like 0 in that other example. So in case of a random walk, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, all that, it's fine. But if I have boundary, then I have to write boundary probabilities also. What I will do is, from 1 to 0, I had 1 minus p. I will have 1 minus p. and from 1 to, from 0 to 1, this is 1 minus alpha, and in 0 I'll make it whole one. I got the same diagram. Okay, so if I am at 0, I'll make it alpha, and I'll make it alpha beta, you can write, or a I've written, you can write a here, a1 minus a1 minus a here. This means what? If I'm at 0, if a is 0, that means what? You put a0 here, I will always go to 1. I will go, whenever I reach at 0, always I will go at 1. That is reflecting. Now if a is 1, if I am 0, there is a 100% probability that I will be at 0 next time. This will be 0. I can never go back to 1. Okay, this is how we have to set. However, other probabilities will not change, because this is a random walk. Always from 1 to 2p, 2 to 1 minus p, 2 to 3p, 3 to 1 minus p. These probabilities will be there. The only problem will be here in the boundary. Here also, if you set boundary 5, suppose, once you reach at 5, the highest level, or whatever you can say, x, y, z, you can write if you want. Suppose x is the highest level here instead of 5, then you can set probabilities here. Suppose you write another b, and from here to here 1 minus b you can write. This will not change. So from x minus 1, how can you go to x? That is from 4 to 5. The probability that you will win. Okay, you won and you reached here. Now if this is a reflecting boundary, you will always go back to 4. Okay, you give 1 to someone because you don't want to keep that place. You can consider this way. Suppose you are a faculty, you don't want to be a principal. You get promotion, and finally you get a call and they said you to go to the principal level. You say, no, I'm fine in my level. I want to be reader or professor. I will be here. Let some other go to that level. In that case, you will always reflect back to your own professor post. You don't want to be a principal, right? So you will reflect back here. That means this should be 1. In that case, b will be 0. However, in case of observing, you will stay here only. You want to be a principal. Once you are there, you will not get any more promotion. Next time also you will be a principal. Next year also you will be a principal till you retire. There is no position higher than principal. Okay, so there are 2 positions you need to remember. In the boundary, you have to set probabilities separately. In all other places, it will not change. The probabilities of increment and decrement, that will not change. P1 minus P. This way you need to interpret. That's all for today's class. Class is over for today. Thank you.